Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing fantastic. Just wanted to shoot you this short video to give you a little bit flavor of how you think, how you could think, because obviously, you are adult, you know what to do, but sometimes we need these reminders. I see it with myself, especially when it comes down about having strategic life rather than moving through emotions and having other people sometimes point, hey, by the way, you're doing this over doing that, and you said you will do this, but you're doing that. So I want today's lesson to be about pursuing your strategic vision and your life rather than random adventure. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because a lot of times in our 20s and our teens, it's totally natural to get lost, try different things, and to see what will come up for us. I definitely done that, and I always talk about this topic really gladly because I know that in for our strategic development, it is so necessary to have this child playfulness and childlike attitude. But on the other hand, as you get older, you realize that there might be projects that you wanted to do already a while, but you never get time to, or you just have too many things. And rather than having too many things, narrow it down and see what you want to, be your life representing, where you want to go. So this week is about being strategic. So ask yourself some questions about, what are the costs, for example, you're spending on a yearly things on courses or on your favorite activity that you maybe never do. What is the plan, when you travel? Do you have any plan, or do you just, go with the motion? How do you go about your morning and your evening? Do you have some routines, or do you just, hop in bed super tired, or in the morning let the kids run over you and you're like, oh, I don't have time for anything? What are the consequences when you choose one job over the other? How do you deal with stress? How often do you exercise? Do you plan to live long, life of quality and longevity? Or do you just stress yourself and chase all the accolades and that everybody praises you? So what stands in your way? So often we get carried away. So that's again being, not being over strategic and being more focused on what's here, what's now, and how we can solve it. We quickly get enthusiastic about projects. I definitely have seen it with myself in my earlier days, and I definitely see it even now that I like to get enthusiastic, which is a good thing. But make sure that you give the project a second thought. It has, its advantages, but it has also disadvantages. You get older, you might have more responsibility. You might need to pursue particular projects over other. So make sure you're strategic. Also, secondly, make sure that you are focused on things that really matter. So oftentimes we just don't care about the short term compared to long term. We are so focused on right here, right now. And of course, there is a place and time for this because we need to oftentimes satisfy our immediate responsibilities and make sure that we deliver, go do the grocery, pay the bills, deliver the project for our boss. But let's make sure that we are strategic and we are playing the long game. We make sure that, we are aiming towards the chief aim, the main objective. And thirdly, I just want to say also regarding the long term, let's start focusing more on the long term and, what is the next decade? How is it going to be about? How was your last decade? Because these are the strategic decisions and thinking that will move you in a different direction rather than if you're randomly moving through the shortened projects and hope, that next one will take you somewhere. And of course it will happen. I mean, there is no right or wrong. Of course, if you pursue this project over the next, maybe it will connect you with somebody that you never thought. But better rather focusing on the quick buck, focus on the long term. And perhaps in the end, if you're playing the long game, it will give you some nice reward. So stay ultra focused, eliminate a clutter. This is the lesson that I want to share with you today, guys. So we're really focused on the long term, focus on having fun every day, being strategic, and yet, knowing what you need to do to get to the strategy that you set for yourself in a decade. Because of course you shouldn't wait a decade to get somewhere, but I think building something bigger, a legacy, and maybe perhaps having bigger dreams requires more energy and more effort. So put out the energy today and be awesome.